Well, good morning and welcome back to Memories of Margaret, where the life and legacy of Margaret Curl will be shared through stories of her love for Christ and all people. I am your host, Martha Sue French. I'm also the youngest of 6 children of Howard and Margaret Curl. Okay, so today's episode is entitled The Men of Margaret, Part 2. Now, I do not own the rights to this music, but the subtitle is subtitle, Still Not a Player. Again, I don't own the rights to that music. But the poem for today is entitled Love Hurts, and it is featured in the poetry book From My Heart to Yours. Now, to recap, Mama's diary was found at a yard sale years after she passed away. It spanned from 1942 to 1946, which was years before she even married Daddy and had children. Now, if you caught episode 11, I introduced a list of names of men that Mama corresponded with. I read excerpts from her diary from 1942 to halfway through 1944. So today I'll pick up in 1944, but will refresh some of the names that you will hear today. Again, all the poetry books are available on Amazon.com. Just type in Margaret Naomi Curl and they should show up. Okay, so back to the story. I'll try to make this episode a little bit more compact than the last one, but there was so much to unpack. And again, my disclaimer is I'm not saying that all the people she wrote to were more than friends, but some of them definitely were. Now, it is sad during this journey a little bit that she did appear to have feelings for at least a couple of these men, and things just didn't work out. But luckily for us, they ultimately did work out with her and Howard Curl, who is our father. So today's poem, Love Hurts, and then we'll jump into the Men of Margaret, Part 2. So here's the poem. Again, it's found in From My Heart to Yours, and it's called Love Hurts. Love is very much like a rose, which is lovely to look at and caresses one's nose with pleasing fragrance in early morn when the dew is on it. But the treacherous thorn will prick one so sharply if one will try to pluck the rose, it can make one cry. And so 'tis with love. In its early stages, one will feel it can last throughout the ages. It's lovely to look at and sweet to the touch, but a word to the wise if one loves too much or loves quite deeply, there will be a thorn in some form or another, as sure as you're born. Whether it's a sweetheart or husband or wife, or children or good friends, one will find all through life that there is a price that everyone pays for loving, because in so many ways, along with the pleasure, there will be some pain. But just as there's sunshine, there must be some rain. The world would be sadder if there was no rose, with or without thorns, and everyone knows that a world without love would really be bad. So if you've someone to love you and that love you, be glad. Again, that is Love Hurts by Margaret Naomi Curl. Now, again, I'm going to recap some of the names, not defining their roles, but just providing some information. So today we're going to start with July of 1944. So some of the names you're going to hear today: J.C. Stevens, you heard a lot about him the last time. I believe he was from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Junior Davis, Bob or Bobby, he was from Fort Wayne as well. Fred Littlejohn, Grant Briggs, heard of him a lot. Harvey Shipp, Julius Nevitt, William Dixon, Jim Curry, Robert Henry, Howard Curl, yay daddy, Gilbert Woodson, Jim Buckner, Pete Curry, Albert Stewart, who in parentheses says was Catherine Cleaver's cousin, George Coward Jr., Herbert Willis, and Junior Stewart. So let's kind of pick back up where we left off. And going through Mama's diary, it gave me a glimpse into her life that I never knew existed. You know, she did so many things. She was independent. She made her own way. And then her final entry, which we'll get to, left me wanting more. I wanted to know what happened from 1947 to 1950. How did her and Daddy actually get together? You know, how long did they date? These are questions I wish I had asked them when they were alive. But at the time, I'm just talking for me. I just thought they'd always been together. So this is my tip for today. If your parents are still alive and you don't know their story, their love story, ask them how it started. So getting back to, I'll start with July, even though I jumped on the last one to the end of July because I shared a picture of a movie star. I'll share that again today. That'll be the first one that comes up. So she got a letter from Jake, letter from Jim Buckner, letter from Grant, letter from William Dixon, Catherine Cleaver, letter from Bob came Friday, and one from Pete on Saturday. Now, on July the 18th, 1944, she received her military map and postcard picture of Sabu. That is the actor. And she said, and is he cute? Whew, what a smile. I'll show that one again. July 21st, Aunt Carrie can really entertain with stories of her travel. July the 25th, all these are 1944. Letter from Alan Curry. July the 28th, letter from Albert Stewart, and again, Catherine Cleaver's cousin. July 31st, letter from Harvey. Take it that's Harvey's ship. He sent a picture of himself and a friend, a very good picture. August 2nd, letters from Alan Curry and George Coward Jr. Picture of Robert Henry. August 6th, letter from Grant. Now, on August the 19th, 1944, letters from Grant and Albert Stewart. The 22nd, letters from William Dixon and Bob. Letter from George Coward Jr., letters from J.C. and Mr. Jim Buckner. Picture folder of San Francisco from Albert Stewart. Letter from Grant. Letter from George Coward Jr. Letters from Carrie Marie and George. Now, on September 16th, 1944, Bob is here. Came on number 7. Same old Bob, hasn't changed a bit. Now, on the Sunday, that's just the 17th, it says, Bob and I went to Pleasant Hill to Reverend Brooks's 3rd anniversary program. Had a very nice time. On the 18th, Bob left for E-Town on the number 8 to get number 199 there. Mom and Dad both like him fine. He's just the same, even though he's a sergeant in the Army. So she must know something, and she must know he's not the one, because she was like, he hadn't changed a bit. He's the same one. So I don't know what that was about. Wish I could have asked her about it. Now, on September the 19th, letters from Corporal Burleson, Mr. Harvey's friend, Jim Buckner and Gilbert. Gilbert is in France. On September the 26th, 1944, 1 month today since hearing from J.C. And on September the 28th, Mrs. Skaggs was taken to the hospital. And again, I believe that was Daddy's grandmother. On October the 12th, 1944, she put letter from J.C. But this is the part that gets me. After 6 weeks and 4 days. Was she counting? Oh, evidently. A letter from J.C. after 6 weeks and 4 days. Then the next day, she got a letter from Grant. Then she got a letter from George Coward Jr. that he was in the hospital. He had his tonsils removed. Now, I don't know where this is. It must be somewhere near Upton. It says, Ola, Jean, Raymond, Bill, and I climbed the knob this afternoon. October 30th, letters from Grant with his picture, Alice May, Harvey, and Jim Buckner. Then on November the 4th, she received her 100-piece Christmas assortment from Household Magazine. And again, she gets all these letters from, Jim, whoever. Now I'm just going to jump ahead to the ones that were interesting to me. December 3rd, 1944, she got a Christmas card from Grant. December the 8th, she got a Christmas card from JC. Now, on December the 19th, she received a package from Grant, again, Grant Briggs. 2 lovely pillow tops, one for Mama, and 2 handkerchiefs, Aloha Hawaii. Then she got a letter from George. Now, on December 31st, she wrote letter from Robert Henry, goodbye 1944. So now we're starting into 1945. January the 15th, she received a book from George, Gone with the Wind. On January the 30th, 1945, letters from Pete, Marty, Bob, and Fred with First Army insignia. And then Grant was here this afternoon and bought me a lovely, underlined, lovely dresser set. So not only was she corresponding with them, some of them actually came to see her. And when she was in Fort Wayne, remember, she went to the movies with that Bob or whatever. Anyway. On February the 5th, she received a Valentine from JC. The 6th, a letter from William Dixon. The 9th, letters from JC, Carrie Marie. She received Valentines from Grant, Howard, and Mother. Way to go, Daddy. February the 11th, letter from Jim Curry. Grant arrived after church. He and I attended the youth conference. So, okay. She got, again, letters from all these people. On March 2nd, she received the Easter card from HN. And HN, I believe I have a picture of him to share, is HN Littlejohn. Now, this is one entry that I wish I knew more about, but this is the only entry in the diary. It says, Howard has to go to Army. That was on March 29th, 1945. It was never mentioned again. Daddy never served in the military. Daddy never went to the Army. So I don't know if this was because he was taking care of his, if he was living with his grandparents, if his grandfather got sick. I don't know. But it said Howard has to go to Army, but Daddy never did go to the Army, as far as I know. On April the 12th, 1945, these are the entries where it was just interesting. It says President Roosevelt died today. And she received letters from Alan, William, and Carrie Marie. On April the 22nd, it says letters from Jim Buckner and Grant. Grant has moved and can't tell me where he is. May the 15th, 1945. She received a letter with a proposal today from Mr. Cecil Lastly, of all people. Now, I remember the name. I don't remember him well, but she put of all people. One of my siblings, I forgot who it was, said he was a school teacher or something. But why he proposing to Mama? Anyway. May the 27th, 1945. It said Mrs. Bell was here this afternoon. I wonder if that was Aunt Bell. It doesn't say, Skaggs or Cleaver or whatever, but it just says Mrs. Bell was here this afternoon. And then on May 31st, 1945, Mama and I attended commencement exercises at E-Town tonight. June the 10th, 1945, 21 years old today. How time flies. That's an understatement. Time did fly. June the 18th, 1945, Bertha Rush left yesterday for Hampton Institute. That must have been the college where she went to. June the 24th, she received a picture folder of Denver mountain peaks from JC. June the 30th, 1945, it says, today is Mama and Dad's 50th wedding anniversary. Again, that's Mama Eve and Papa Eve. July the 2nd, letters from Lorraine, JC, Fred, and Grant. JC is at home. Dropping down all the way now to July the 31st, 1945. 2 letters from Grant. Jesse McDougal is getting married tomorrow. August 3rd, letter from Fred. Fred is to be sent home for how long he doesn't know. August the 8th, 1945, the Russians have declared war against Japan. So this is where it gets kind of sad, and that's why I read the poem, Love Hurts. All this, letters from Bob. On August the 19th, 1945, she received letters from George and Mother. Bob is married. Then the next entry, she put back at work, but wobbly. Not from any physical deficiency, I hope. Just shattered. Or a dream, rather, than a letter from JC. August the 28th, letter from Clarence with his picture and picture folder of St. Louis. He is at Fort Leonard Wood. September the 4th, 1945, letters from Harvey and Martha. Harvey is in the Philippines. September the 10th, letters from Lorraine, which is Miss Lorraine McDougal, and JC. He sent his picture. October the 3rd, letters from Fred. He was discharged from the Army on September the 25th. On October the 4th, letter from JC with 24 3-cent stamps. So he knew how to get to her heart. He sent her 24 3-cent stamps. Letters from Grant, Pete, and Carrie Marie. Grant and Pete both expect to be home by November the 1st. Now, on October the 16th, 1945, the letter from, she received a letter from JC, but the letter she wrote Grant on September the 11th came back today. And then on October the 20th, it says letter I mailed Grant August the 20th came back today. Now on October the 28th, it says Les and Bertha moved in next door today. So I'm wondering if that's the house where the Cardins used to live, because I don't think there was a house on the other side of them. But this was in Upton. But it says that Les and Bertha moved in next door today. On November the 1st, 1945, letters from Robert Henry, JC, and Clarence. She received a telegram from Grant that he's in San Francisco. On November the 15th, 1945, Mr. Skaggs, which is Daddy's grandfather, had a light stroke Sunday. We went to see him tonight. November the 24th, letters from Bob and William Mayhew. Bob is a staff sergeant now. Now, December the 8th, Christmas card from James and Sophie. So that's the name of our grandfather, Mama's father. And Sophie, we called her Nanny, was his wife's name. So I'm wondering if that was Granddad and Nanny. But it just says Christmas card from James and Sophie. And it's a picture folder of Monterey, California from Bob. Now, if Bob's married, why he's still sending Mama stuff and corresponding with her? But again, not my issue. She sold 85 cents worth of Christmas cards that she made. Now, on December the 9th, 1945, Grant was here tonight. So Grant would come and visit Mama a lot. Well, a lot to me. A letter from Lawrence Massey. I don't remember hearing his name. He is out of the Navy now. And then on December 31st, 1945, to the year that saw two wars end, goodbye, 1945. Now, again, Grant was here tonight. That was on December, just remember this, December the 9th, 1945. Okay? Now we're into 1946. That's the last year of the diary. January 2nd, she received New Year's greeting from Bob and his wife. Okay. It says Mitchell is here. Who is Mitchell? That's the first and last Mitchell was ever mentioned in this diary. And I never knew that Mama had a canary. It's on January 21st, 1946. Our canary, Jerry, died this morning. But get this, January the 28th, 1946, letters from George and Lorraine. Grant is married. Now, he just saw her in December. Now in January, he's married. So now but actually it's kind of good. So now Grant's knocked out and Bob's knocked out. Okay, it's making room. It's making room for Daddy to make his move, the knife. But this is, for Mama on February the 4th. No mail, no visitors, no news, no nothing. That's what she put in her entry. And then on the 10th of February, what a snow. No Sunday school, church, youth conference, no nothing except snow. On February the 24th, 1946, Linda Curl died yesterday. I don't know who Linda Curl is. So again, I need to go back and do some ancestry about our family, because some of these people, I don't even know who they are. On March 30th, 1946, she sold 18 Easter cards. She continues to receive letters from JC. Now, on the April the 17th, she received a telegram from Mother, who is Grandma, that Granny Bugs died this morning and the funeral to be Saturday. Now, again, April 21st, 1946, JC was here tonight. April 22nd, JC and Charles Perkins here tonight. April 23rd, JC and I went to see Breakfast in Hollywood tonight. April 24th, JC and I saw the Bells of St. Mary's tonight. JC, give them rest. Let her rest a day or something. Anyway, the 26th, went over to JC's tonight for a little get-together. The 30th, JC was here tonight. May the 2nd, JC and I went to see the Blue Dahlia at Paramount. May the 4th, JC and I were to go to Aunt Claudia's tonight, but he didn't show up, the rascal. Then on the 5th, Jim Dupree and JC were here tonight, but I had a sick headache and didn't come down to see them. Now on the 6th, he's going to come back. JC was here tonight. Now on the 9th, I guess he's trying to make up for not showing up when he said, JC and I went to see Gregory Peck and Ingrid Bergman in Spellbound tonight. On May the 11th, Mother worked this morning and tonight. So all this time when JC was here, JC, Mama had gone to Fort Wayne because that was where JC was from, and that's where Grandma lived. So anyway, JC was here tonight. That was on the 11th of May. May the 12th, JC, JT Dupree, and Charles Perkins have all been here. May the 15th, JC was here a while tonight. On the 16th, plan to return home tomorrow. JC was here tonight. Then when she gets home, she gets letters from Mother and JC. June the 10th, 22 years old. It seems incredible, she says. On the 21st of July, the carnival left. What a relief. Again, just trying to go through this a little fast, just to let you get a idea of just the different things she did. On August the 14th, again, 1946, we canned 14 quarts of grape juice at Miss Mellie's. Miss Mellie was Miss Mellie Upton. On August 27th, she received a special delivery letter from JC. On September the 5th, letter from George, a watercolor set and type outfit from Sears. On September the 12th, bad luck. And this she put on Thursday as usual. She lost her lavender scarf, broke a dish of Mama's. She put, woe is me. Now, on the 18th of September, 1946, Joe Louis KO'd, it looks like Tammy Murillo tonight, in 2 minutes and 9 seconds of the first round. And this is where we're starting to get to the end of the diary. And it is December the 26th, 1946. Lovely chest containing 2 pounds of candy from Howard. On December 27th, a book from Miss Mellie, and it was entitled A Book of Treasured Poems. So everyone knew that Mama loved poems and poetry. And then the last entry in the diary, December 31st, 1946. The year is departing like a lion. Farewell to 1946 and this diary. A prayer for guidance and succession in 1947. So again, I kind of went through the entries quick, just to give you more of an idea. But the whole gist of everything, based on what I've read, is that the 2 that she appeared to really have feelings for or 3 actually, were Grant Briggs, who ended up getting married, Bob, who ended up getting married, and JC. I don't know what happened to JC. I tried to Google his name. Nothing came up. So I don't know, what happened, because he was still corresponding with her at the end of 1946. But somewhere between 1946 or January 1947 and June 22nd, 1950, her and Daddy got married. So I just wonder what happened, in between that time. Like I said, it just left me wanting more. So let me, again, just share some of these pictures with you so I can, then I'll go ahead and wrap it up. Okay, this is the actor, Sabu. That's the gear. He was a movie actor. And she put, oops, sorry. She put, oh, that smile. Whew, what a smile. That's a decent picture. Now, with the arrow pointed, that's Cousin Harvey Shipp. Well, we call him Cousin Harvey. And that's his friend. I'm not sure. She mentioned a couple of different friends that he had, and one of them would write to her. But that is him when he was in the Army. That's the one I think she said, good picture. I mentioned George Coward Jr. a lot. This was a picture of him. And these pictures are still in a photo album of Mama's, I guess, that was in Grandma's thing. So Grandma must have kept these items. I don't know if Mama even knew they still existed. Here, people, is Grant Briggs. This is the one that was a front runner for a while. Remember, he was the one that in December he came to visit her, but then in January he was married. He went to the convention with her and everything. So yeah, good riddance, Grant. Sorry, I'm being petty. This is HN or Henry N. Little John, but when she just put HN. So I don't know if they just called him HN or not. It looks like he was in the Navy. Here's another one of PFC James C. Stevens. And right here, he's in Kessler Field, Mississippi. So this is JC. This is the JC that was on Mama a lot. Now look, with love. Huh. Oh, with love, JC Stevens. Okay. And he just wanted her to see what he looked like in that, I guess, MP uniform outfit. However, all that doesn't matter because it's right here. Howard Curl. That don't look like Billy Curl right here. That's Daddy as a young man. And then last but not least, Daddy was a very hard worker. Love that picture of him in the overalls. Those are all the pictures. Again, I just wanted to go through because I guess I was petty. I'm not gonna lie. At first, I still am. With, how dare Mama have a life outside of us, outside of Daddy? But she did. That's life. But again, I just wonder what happened from 1947 to 1950. Just remember, and this is my tip for the day. If your parents are still alive and you don't know their story, just ask them about how their love story started. It's just so interesting to me. So anyway, that's all for today. So thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to Memories of Margaret on Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Don't forget to tune in every other Tuesday at 8 a.m. for more poetry and stories. Now, in the next episode, the plan is, don't hold me to it, but the plan is, and I mentioned this episodes previously, that we will have, if not all, hopefully a majority of all of us are going to be on together. More than likely, that's going to be a two-part episode, but all of our siblings are going to be on together so we can laugh and talk about things back and forth. So remember, if you would like to be a guest on a future episode, please leave a message on the Facebook page, Memories of Margaret, or send an email to memoriesofmargaretnaomi@gmail.com. Again, thank you for going on this journey with me with Mama's Diary. And until the next time, make memories with your family. Thank you.